Hi guys, this is gsndom.com and I'm here with the unboxing of the ASUS ZenFone 3, the core model of the ZenFone 3 series that includes quite a few handsets like the ZenFone 3 Deluxe, the ZenFone 3 of course, the ZenFone 3 Ultra and the ZenFone 3 Max. The jury is still out regarding the ZenFone 3 Laser. So here we are with the ASUS ZenFone 3, probably the most beautiful phone from the entire range. It was announced at the end of May and it started hitting the shops in Europe over the past weeks and months. This model is the 5.2 incher. The ZenFone 3 also has a 5.5 inch version and this one is codenamed ZE520KL. And aside from the diagonal and the battery, there's not much of a difference between the two, of course, aside from the size, thickness and weight. So ASUS ZenFone 3 ZE520KL, it's a sort of a mid flagship, so to say. Very good looking, certainly better looking than the ZenFone 2, and this is an unboxing, so let's see what's inside the box. In the meantime, you should know that this phone can be found on Amazon starting at $300 or $320. So inside the box we find the metal key to prop open the slots, and we also have this user guide. And next up there is a big charger here. It's a 5V 2A charger, also 10W capable. And then we have the headphones, not hugely different from the previous gen ones, and of course the headphone plugs are here. Now this is an USB Type-C cable that is to connect the phone to the PC or to the charger, and that completes our tour of the devices package. It's time to fire up the phone and see what the ASUS ZenFone 3 can do in the 5.2 inch version. As you probably noticed, we have a glass panel at the front, 2.5D glass, and a glass panel at the back, a trend that has been very widespread in the Samsung range this year. Flagships and mid-rangers both adopted it. So even this sub version of the ZenFone 3, the 5.2 incher, has its very own sub versions. You can get it with 32GB of storage and 3GB of RAM, or 64GB of storage and 4GB of RAM. Now enough with the talking, time to do some setup. Okay, next. Just in case you were wondering, we're running on Android Marshmallow here with Zen UI 3.0 on top. Okay, it proposes a fingerprint scanning setup. And speaking of which, below the main camera you can find the fingerprint scanner that reminds me a bit of a keyhole. Interesting approach here. Now as far as the specs are concerned, this phone measures 7.69mm in thickness and weighs 144 grams, so it's quite light and quite slim. It also has 2mm thick bezels for the screen, which is pretty impressive, and the screen offers a Full HD resolution and an IPS panel. Inside the smartphone you'll be able to find a Snapdragon 625 processor. It's an octa-core unit accompanied by 3 or 4GB of RAM, 32 or 64GB of storage, a micro SD card slot and a 2650 mAh battery. This port here is an USB Type-C. The phone has a dual SIM setup, and as far as the cameras go, we get an 8 megapixel shooter for the selfies, and the main camera is actually the core point of the phone, judging by the promos of the device. So 16 megapixel shooter with optical image stabilization, 4K video capture and also laser focus here, plus what seems to be a pretty powerful flash. There is also face detection autofocus, and let's check out the camera UI out of pure curiosity. Okay, at first sight not much has changed from the ZenFone 2 series, maybe aside from the modes that have a different design, I mean icon design. The children mode is new, there's depth of field which you already know, GIF animation, smart remove and a ton of other features to play with. Of course the settings area is very ample and you'll spend a lot of time in it. So this is the ASUS ZenFone 3 ZE520KL 5.2 incher, the mid flagship from ASUS. It's the core of the ZenFone 3 range. It gives it its name. The higher end version is of course the deluxe one, going up to Snapdragon 821, 6GB of RAM, but that's a different affair. This affair costs around $300 or $400 and is very well balanced, and the camera is a flagship level shooter as far as we are promised. So this has been the unboxing and first contact with the ASUS ZenFone 3. We'll be back with a full review very soon. Bye bye.